Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Lomachenko's career is soon to be over. I think that Lomachenko's career it's over. You know, a guy who was brought through the ranks super fast, a guy that won over 300 amateur fights, a guy who was a gold medalist, has accomplished so much within the amateur system of boxing, winning gold medals at the Olympics, and then coming to the professional, to the pros, and basically dominating, uh, making guys quit. But I feel like his career is soon to be over. We've seen him go up against a guy like Teofimo Lopez, going for greatness, chasing the undisputed. If you know, you know. Lomachenko wanted to go for undisputed. Teofimo Lopez was in the way of that. Teofimo Lopez, you know, said he wanted Lomachenko, and Lomachenko told him, go get a belt then. Teofimo Lopez campaigns, goes out there, gets a belt, gets the IBF belt, and that was the missing piece of the puzzle. Lomachenko could have easily fought Richard Comey. Could have easily fought Richard Comey, you know, and became an undisputed world champion. But definitely took the more riskier route, fighting a guy like up and coming guy like Teofimo Lopez, who at the time was, I mean, was through the moon, and fought Teofimo Lopez to in a fight where it looked like he wasn't doing much, and then came on super strong at the end of that fight. But Teofimo Lopez ultimately wanted it more. In the 12th round, you could see that Teofimo Lopez wanted that fight even more than Lomachenko. Then Lomachenko goes on a campaign to beat a guy like Nakatani, Richard Comey, just to put himself back in position to be able to become undisputed. Uh, but then, war breaks out for Lomachenko. War breaks out in Ukraine, and Lomachenko, being the hometown hero, being a Ukrainian warrior, goes out to Ukraine and is involved in the war. Now, when I say that Lomachenko's career is soon to be over, it's due in part because of the fact that he could have had a guy like George Kambosos. I mean, the fight was offered to him first, and he didn't take that fight. He didn't take that fight because of the war in Ukraine. He didn't feel it was right. He didn't feel like he needed to leave his people just to become an undisputed world champion. And at the time, it seemed it was a noble thing to do, and it still is a noble thing to be to put your career on hold for something bigger than yourself. And it just shows the unselfishness of a guy like Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko, obviously had to pass up on the opportunity of a lifetime. A guy like George Kambosos, who he could have easily beat. Lomachenko passed up on that opportunity, you know, uh, and Devin Haney stepped in to take that opportunity and dominated George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos Jr. really, after he fought, everybody wanted a shot at George Kambosos after he beat Teofimo Lopez. Everybody wanted a shot at George Kambosos because they knew the type of fighter that George Kambosos was. They knew that he wasn't going to be able to keep up a performance like he ultimately had against Teofimo Lopez. They knew, they definitely knew. Uh, Devin Haney goes on. He beats George Kambosos, becomes undisputed world champion at 135 pounds. Lomachenko is still in position at number one, sitting there trying to get mandated to fight Devin Haney. Ultimately he comes back from the war to take on uh Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Well, he takes on Jermaine Ortiz as a tune-up. Okay, I skipped a little bit of the timeline. What's going on, everybody? What's good? What's good? Not what's going on, man? The robbery. Trudeau, what's going on, my guy? Yeah, man. So yeah, he comes in, he fights Jermaine Ortiz. Obviously, it was a lot of, he was at war, he was doing all of this, and I feel like that was part of the performance that why he wasn't super successful against Jermaine Ortiz. Also, you can't take credit away from Jermaine Ortiz. Great fighter. He's a good fighter, very good fighter that can cause a lot of problems for a lot of those fighters at 135, and I believe he's now going to 140, if I'm not mistaken. He couldn't make weight his last fight. He was supposed to fight on the undercard of Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor. That fight had to be scratched. I believe he's going to be going up to 140 pounds. But yeah, a very tricky fighter, a fighter that that can make you look bad any night, and that's exactly what he went in there and did against Lomachenko, and he made him look bad. And a lot of people didn't feel like Lomachenko was really won that fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people felt that Jermaine Ortiz could have pulled that fight off, but ultimately Lomachenko gets the victory, and then the big fight happens for undisputed, for all the marbles to become undisputed for the first time. Before he fought Teofimo Lopez, he was the unified champion. He beat everybody. He beat all those guys. He went out there and just couldn't get it done. Couldn't find the energy. Couldn't find the time. Couldn't find it in himself to become undisputed on that night. What's going on, Sergeant? What's good, bro? Couldn't find that killer instinct, just couldn't do it. The 12th round was ultimately where he failed against Teofimo Lopez. Fast forward, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, now he's getting another opportunity to fight for undisputed, and it seemed like Lomachenko obviously didn't look great against Jermaine Ortiz, but the fight against Devin Haney, I said Devin Haney was gonna win that fight. The reason I felt like he was gonna win that fight is because he had all the advantages except for one thing. I felt like was skill. When we talked about skill, Lomachenko obviously was the better fighter, But when we talked about physical attributes, uh, you could give that to Devin Haney. So on that night, I felt like Devin Haney was gonna have a pretty easy time, given the performance that Lomachenko was coming off of. It wasn't the greatest outing, and I just felt like Devin Haney would have won that fight pretty easy. Well, what we saw that night was obviously a Lomachenko go inside of the ring and beat Devin Haney from pillar to post and give him a boxing lesson. A very technical fight. Devin Haney, I just couldn't give him 5 rounds, to be honest. I honestly felt like he only had won 4. But the judges had it different. The judges had Devin Haney obviously being victorious on the night, which stirred up a lot of controversy. Lomachenko knew that it was his final shot at becoming undisputed. And what is he gonna do if he gets a third time, a third shot at an undisputed? What would he ultimately go in there and do? He would actually need to knock Devin Haney out. He's getting further and further out from becoming a world champion again. And this is what's crazy about it, because Lomachenko's skill set is one of those skill sets that is very, very, very is entertaining, and it's very tricky inside of the ring. Why? Because he moves lateral. He always keeps you on your toes. He, I mean, if you're a flat-footed fighter, if you stand flat-footed, you're gonna get so frustrated. We've seen even guys that move around like Guillermo Rigondeaux. You know, get frustrated against Lomachenko. And the way he moves on with angles, it's just something spectacular. Every time he fights, is something spectacular. You see different things. I mean, Devin Haney had no answer for Lomachenko on the night. You can see when Devin Haney goes and sits down on the stool, and he tells Bill, he keeps figuring me out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he knows exactly what I'm doing. He knows what I'm doing. And that's what Devin Haney said to Bill Haney in the corner when he was fighting Lomachenko. He knows what I'm doing. And literally Devin Haney had zero answers for Lomachenko. To say that Devin Haney won is kind of disrespectful because that just wasn't the case on the night. If we're being completely honest, it wasn't the case on the night. Devin Haney couldn't have possibly won that fight, but he did. Now we're here, right? Lomachenko's career was torn apart by war, because obviously he could have took that route. He could have beat George Kambosos, become the undisputed world champion, and went back to Ukraine and fought in the war. Could have been that simple for him, but he decided to pass up on the opportunity and go and just stay in this country and and be at war. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect Lomachenko because it was the noble thing to do. He wasn't just thinking about himself. He was thinking about his people, where he's from, and an invasion, you know, of his nation. So you have to commend what Lomachenko has done. You know what I'm saying? But the problem here is that his career is gonna be soon to be over. You know, I don't think that he gets another shot at undisputed. And even if he does, if Devin Haney's going into 140 pounds, I think that fans would rather see him fight Devin Haney for all the belts again instead of him having to go out there and collect. You got guys like Shakur Stevenson out there, and it's just slipping away and it's getting further and further and further away from Lomachenko to become undisputed champion. Where, I mean, you see the emotions of a fighter when he goes back to the dressing room, and obviously he put his heart into it all, and to be robbed on the night. I mean, I think that the emotions were running high for Lomachenko because he knew the opportunities were very slim for him to get another opportunity on a guy like Devin Haney, who is known to, to basically duck. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, not to say he's the biggest ducker in the world, but he does avoid here things and here and there, But obviously, he fought Lomachenko. You know what I mean? So you have to give him the respect uh, and credit for having a name like Lomachenko. But at the end of the day, that fight didn't really sit right. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't sit right, and for people to try to make up this and that. It just didn't sit right. It was like Alexander Usyk, Daniel Dubois all over again. For a lot of people, it just didn't sit right. They felt like it was a clean punch, you know, even though Daniel Dubois didn't really touch the skin, but it still didn't leave the best impression on the fans. So Alexander Usyk has to go back out there and try to rematch. I think, you know what I mean, because they felt like that was a body shot, and if that was a body shot, then you would have been out in that fifth round. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of things that we getting at. What's going on, Killer Be Killed? He says Teofimo Lopez been getting dropped ever since he fought Loma. I think Loma took Tio heart. I mean, look, man. So Teofimo Lopez, every time he gets caught, you know, I don't think that Loma took Tio's heart. You know what I'm saying? I think that what happened was after when he lost to George Kambosos was obviously he was riding on a high wave. You know what I'm saying? He was riding on that high trail. He was trekking. You know what I'm saying? And the problem was that if you could remember correctly, because you do have to put it in context, you have to remember that they went to a purse bid, a network picks it up, like Triller drops it. It takes months. And I mean, and you can't keep postponing these types of fights. You know what I'm saying? The fans want to see what the fans want to see. But this has to be a lesson to fighters. Don't let any peer pressure get to you just so that you please these fans. I understand that a lot of fans are gonna be mad. Shit, I might be mad. But at the end of the day, dog, ultimately, if you are not 100%, do not get inside of that ring. It is simple as that. Now, when you say that Teofimo Lopez is getting dropped ever since, yeah, he got dropped against Sandor Martin twice. You know what I'm saying? But it's him being off balance. It's not him when he fought George Kambosos. It was just that was a flash knockdown. When he got dropped against Sandor Mountain, he was off balance half the time. But why didn't a guy like Josh Taylor drop Teofimo Lopez? Because obviously his footing, I'm saying, his footwork was not there against Sandor Martin. Obviously, he couldn't even cut off the ring against Sandor Martin effectively. You know what I mean? So it's things that go with it. When he was fighting Sandor Martin, it was a horrible fight. Why was it a horrible fight? Because he couldn't cut off the ring, because his footwork was all over the place, because he was off balance half the time. Every time he got caught, he was off balance. You know what I'm saying? Was he hurt? Definitely not. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't look good in the fans' eyes. Now, when you come back and bounce back with a performance like Josh Taylor, obviously the fans are like, oh, okay, okay. It must have just been some bullshit going on against Sandor Martin. And that's why I stated, and that's why I made a live before, and I've said, uh, and that's why I've said, um, that Teofimo Lopez only needs to fight elite fighters. And simple as that. Because when he fought Lomachenko, he beat him. You know what I'm saying? When he fought Josh Taylor, he beat him. You know what I mean? When he had to go get the belt from Ichikomi, he beat him. But if you look back, even the Nakatani fight, it wasn't the greatest fight. When you go back, you look at George Kambosos, it wasn't his greatest fight. You know what I'm saying? Even though that shit was a war, you know what I mean? But it wasn't the greatest version of Teofimo Lopez. When you when you when he fought Sandor Martin, it wasn't his best fight. That's why I said, bro, just continue to fight elite fighters, because you only fight better when you fight elite fighters. He fights to the level of his competition. He's fighting to those levels. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's the sorry shit about Tio, man, because he just needs to be consistent, more consistent. And I think that we should be able to get that. But I think that if you're fighting one time, two times a year, you're not gonna be able to have that consistency, man. As simple as that. You know what I mean? But the kid has talent, and I want to see more from Teofimo Lopez, man. I mean, I think everybody does. He's a great fighter. He's a pound for pound fighter. There's no way. Currently watching wild as hell, man. Tio gets careless at times. Yeah, man. Yeah, Sergeant. Tio gets careless, man. He gets careless. He's off balance. It doesn't look good too much. It doesn't look good, and it's against lower competition. You know what I'm saying? Against Josh Taylor, he didn't get careless. He knew the danger of Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? He knew he couldn't do all of that. Now, when he started gaining that confidence inside of the ring, he started putting on a great performance against Josh Taylor. But he had to get that confidence back. And that's what T.O. needed. You know what I'm saying? And fight stupid, running into shots. Yeah, dog, yeah. For sure, man. Yeah, man. Dang, man, y'all wilding, man. Salute, 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 salute. Yes, sir, man. Said Dubois was robbed. Hey man, I can't be mad if somebody feels like he was robbed. You know what I'm saying? Because it was such a split second shot where the ref is gonna make a call. The ref could have called. The ref could have said, "Man, that shit wasn't." You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a. The ref could have definitely said that it was a body shot. You know what I mean? The ref just saw what he saw. You know what I'm saying? It was such a split second shot where he was like, "Yeah, it looked like a low blow." He went down low. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously, it wasn't right on his nuts. You know what I mean? But it was in the vicinity. You know what I mean? It was in the vicinity. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that we do see from Usyk is that he's susceptible to the body. He's susceptible to the body. If you want to get at Usyk, you gotta go to that body. Put that work into the body. He's gonna fucking fall. You'll fall. Sergio Killer. But Tio probably the best youngster. Yeah, I feel that too, man. I feel like Teofimo Lopez probably the best one out of out of I mean out of most of the youngsters, right? Because I feel like Shakur Stevenson is very high too. I feel like he could be one of those guys as well. You know what I'm saying? But I think from the best of the best, yeah, Teofimo Lopez is up there. I mean, you could put Devin Haney in front of Teofimo Lopez, but Devin Haney hasn't done what Teofimo Lopez has done. Yeah, he won undisputed. Yeah, he's an undisputed world champion. You know what I'm saying? But what Tio did against Lomachenko was unheard of. You know what I'm saying? The amount of fights that he had under his belt, the way that he went and fought, got a belt, and then went for undisputed, wanted the fight with Lomachenko, then calling out Josh Taylor and people telling him he was crazy. People were telling Teofimo Lopez and his father that it was crazy calling for Josh Taylor. Why are you calling for Josh Taylor? This and that. Blah, blah, blah. Man, he gets an opportunity at Josh Taylor. I mean, it's sad though. It's the sad truth is Teofimo Lopez, he was fucked in his career. You know what I'm saying? He was screwed over in his career. I mean, they took undisputed twice from the guy. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez obviously fought for undisputed the night when he fought Lomachenko. And the WBC went and robbed him of that. You know what I'm saying? Robbed him in the fans' eyes. Behind closed doors, these dudes saying he's undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors, yeah, they like, yeah, but in front of everybody, they like, nah. So like they left it up in the air for the people. Obviously, the WBC Mauricio Suleiman was actually vocal about it. He was saying, yeah, no, Teofimo Lopez is undisputed. The franchise belt is our top belt. Why do you think that Devin Haney? He said, what was the first thing that Devin Haney told people? He was dropping the franchise belt. Ask him where the fuck that belt is at. He carries that motherfucker into the ring? I'll tell you that much. I bet you if he loses, it don't matter because he has the franchise belt. Does not matter. He holds the franchise belt. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta. It's so crazy, man. It's crazy shit that goes on. What's going on, man? What is going on, man? I appreciate y'all, man, coming through, man. Loma lost to Haney, and it wasn't even close. And it wasn't even a close fight. Tio wanted money. Bob had a plan for him. Yeah, yeah, and that was unfortunate, man. Because I mean, he took the purse bid. He went the purse bid, and it was unfortunate for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was gonna get that payday from Triller, and dog, he was just man. It's sad, dog. It's sad. And then his own network didn't even put him on the pound for pound list. I mean, and you talking about a guy that is beat their top dudes. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's beat their top dudes and he's still getting put on the back burner. I mean, it's fucked up. Teofimo Lopez can become unified champion. Yeah, he definitely can. And then Josh Taylor fucking Teofimo Lopez over because he relinquishes the belts. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to pay for the sanctioning body fees. You know what I mean? So like he would have been a two-time undisputed, hands down, no questions asked. In the fans' eyes. But only a few actually consider him that. You know, because it makes sense. You gonna parade around like these dudes were parading around a dude that didn't win the belt inside of the ring. You were parading around a guy who did not win anything. So it's like it's very sad. The sport of boxing is very sad. Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko. What do you think Teofimo Lopez had when he beat Lomachenko? Lomachenko was unified. Teofimo Lopez had the IBF in order to fight because that's ultimately what Lomachenko was aiming for. He was very vocal about it. You know what I'm saying? So obviously they didn't want to mandate it, So they were like, shit, get the franchise belt. With the franchise belt, I can maneuver over that, and then I could get the undisputed fight that I really want, the actual competition. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what Lomachenko did. He went for the competition. He obviously lost, but I mean, it's sad the career. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely sad. Ring matters the most. Everyone knew T.O. and Loma were the two guys. Yup. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. He's two-time lineal though, and that accounts for everything. I actually saw something where Devin Haney says that Teofimo Lopez is not the top guy in the division. I mean, the dude is a grade A hater. You know what I'm saying? He might be undisputed, but he ain't shit. He really ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? He lost to Lomachenko that night. That's simple. You could fucking that you gotta be stupid. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be stupid to say that he won that fight. But there's fans that's gonna say it, and it is what it is. I mean, on paper it says he won. Fuck it, why not, right? But in reality, though, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't get mad, dog. Because look, if you saying that Alexander Usyk Daniel Dubois got robbed, I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at that because it was that close of a call. But for Devin Haney, I don't know. I just don't feel it was that close of a call. Let's be honest. Bob Arum lost Devin Haney. He still has T.O. I don't care what people say about Teofimo Lopez. He a killer. He earned his stripes. Facts, bro. Facts, definitely. You know, damn man. Yeah, Ring Magazine and WBC. He got the WBA right now. WBA. Oh, WBO. My bad. My bad. I thought I seen WBC. My screen broken. Yeah, man, the WBO, man, and that Ring Mag, man, that lineal, man. You can't, you can't take that away. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away. But guess what? It don't matter if nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? If nobody knows, it don't matter. And another thing is Teofimo Lopez has been real quiet on social media. You know what I'm saying? Very quiet. I haven't seen nothing from T.O. in a while. You know what I'm saying? He got to come back out. Obviously when T.O. comes out, he said some things that shouldn't just it should just be, what I'm saying, some things he just shouldn't be saying, but you gotta build that shit up, man, and let these motherfuckers know. Yeah, I'm two-time lineal. Fuck is you talking about, bro? You know what I'm saying? I'm two-time lineal. I beat the guy each and every time. You know what I'm saying? T.O. has a better resume than Bradley. Man, Bradley is his biggest hater too, unfortunately, right? Every time. Timothy Bradley is his biggest hater. He hates Teofimo Lopez. That's one thing that I feel like he hates him. I'm not gonna say he does hate him and take that for a fact, but I feel like he hates him. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo has beaten top three opponents back to back to back. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, man, he's fought 2 pound for pound guys. When have you ever heard of anybody fighting 2 pound for pound guys and beating them dudes? You know what I'm saying? Except for what Canelo's about to do. You know what I mean? But other than that, I mean, Teofimo Lopez being two top pound for pound guys, 2 pound for pound guys. And Lomachenko was touted as number one at the time. You know what I'm saying? Where Josh Taylor, he might have felt like in the sixth, seventh, but two top 2 pound for pound guys. That's unheard of. It's unheard of. Who's done that? Think about this. Yes, Terrence Crawford became undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Before Teofimo Lopez. But honestly, nobody was going for undisputed before Teofimo Lopez, after Teofimo Lopez. You know, after Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko, everybody was inspired. They wanted to be the undisputed world champion. You know what I'm saying? And it started trickling down. But I think that with Devin Haney, he's probably going to go up to 140 pounds. He's going to have to relinquish all the belts. I believe the WBC has already mandated Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin, which should be a banger. You know what I'm saying? That fight should be a banger, man. The problem is Teofimo lost at 135, so he lost his lineal belt. That's the problem. Nah, but I mean, he was still lineal. You know what I'm saying? 2-time lineal, not obviously former lineal too, because he had to relinquish anyways. He was going to 140 pounds, but he's a former lineal. You know what I'm saying? At 135, of course. Yeah, definitely. Former lineal at 135 pounds. Obviously, once he lost it all. You know what I'm saying? But you can't take that away though. You still the lineal at a point in time. You know what I mean? And at 140 pounds, even if he loses, he's still 2-time lineal. Even if he loses at 140 pounds, he's still gonna be 2-time lineal. You can't take away uh, that he wasn't lineal or not. You know what I'm saying? Just because he loses, if you held the belt, you was a champion. You know what I'm saying? If you held one belt, you was a champion. Shit, they even say Rolly's a champion, and he's got like the not the secondary belt, but the third and the fourth. Nah, he got the real one now. I think he got the real one now. I think he got that real joint now. So let's see. There's more killers at 140 than it is at 147. So it's more difficult to become undisputed at 140 than 147. That being said, I 100% agree with you on that. I 100% agree with you on that. There's more killers at 140 pounds. Yes, sir. There is. There definitely is. And it's easier at 147 because, look, think about it, bro. You had, I feel like Danny Garcia or your Dennis Ugas, those guys are all on the same level, man. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter, they're all on the same level. None of those guys are great. You know what I mean? They're good fighters, not great fighters, though. You know what I'm saying? We're potentially at 140 pounds, we might be able to see two to three great fighters. You know what I'm saying? At 147, they're good fighters. They got good fighters, pretty good, decent fighters. But obviously we seen that it was such a mismatch with Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence, where it was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like beat might beat Earl Spence. You know what I'm saying, on a good night. Velasquez might beat or Denny Zugas, And just because we didn't know who Kavalaskis was, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people felt like they needed to take credit from Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't know who this dude was. But I feel like at 147 pounds, those dudes could all fight each other and they all will take a loss, and they will all take a loss to different people in that division. Where at 140, it's sink or swim type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna be sink or swim, but I feel like it's more elite type of fighters at 140 pounds. Like we still don't know what Subrel Matias is gonna bring to the table, right? But he's touted to be possibly a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? Because of his hard hitting. You know what I mean? He's got that type of power. You know what I'm saying? Even 147 had great fighters. I mean, elite fighters. You know what I'm saying? And I would even put Devin Haney in that category, right? Because he's better than the good fighters at 135. He was better than the good fighters at 135. But yeah, man, Earl Smith Jr. was never that good. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that fight with Terrence Crawford obviously was just such a mismatch, and it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Even the guys that was going for him, they're like, hell no, don't rematch that dude, man. They weren't even expecting the mismatch of the fight. I say, man, get that dude the chance, man. Get him at 154. Shit, it is what it is. Let him get his get back. Yeah, Matias is all right, but hasn't been proven. Yeah, that's what I say. He's talented to be. Like we could possibly see him do some shit like, you know what I'm saying, but he still hasn't been tested. We need to see him against Regis Prograis, shit, T.O., shit. It's hella fighters up there. You can fight hella fighters up that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Haney's 135-pound run is weak in my opinion. Best win is a robbery. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. Lomachenko was gonna be his best win if he beat him. And unfortunately for him, that shit was a robbery. So like, yeah, you beat him, my guy, but mm, you weren't nothing special on the night. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? He was nothing special. He was literally nothing special. He did nothing. He did nothing that was actually affecting Lomachenko. He wasn't elusive. It wasn't explosive. There was no. It was just constantly, just trying to keep the jab out there, and he lost that fucking fight, dog. And then other than that, what George Kambosos? I mean, after George Kambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, you had Ryan Garcia, shit, Shakur Stevenson ready to go up to 135 pounds just to fight that dude. You had so many guys that was ready and waiting in line trying to fight that dude because they already knew what time it was. Shit, everybody was in line trying to fight that dude. You know what I'm saying? They already knew. They knew that shit wasn't. That shit wasn't no. That shit was bullshit. That's like that. They already knew. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, George Kambosos, then who, man? Like Saul Abdulayev. Like, I mean, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But who else after that? Jojo Diaz, Jorge Linares. I mean, old ass Jorge Linares, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Jojo Diaz, the most undisciplined fighter I've ever seen in my life. That dude right there, he just goes through so much shit. It is sad, to be honest, because he could have actually been a good fighter, a really good fucking fighter, a very good fighter. He could have been a fighter, a real good fighter. But come on now. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Jojo Diaz is one of the most undisciplined fighters I've seen in my life. And he be in the gym. He definitely be in the gym. It's just I don't know what the hell goes on in his life that it ruins him, dog. It ruins him. He got some bad voodoo shit on him. Shit's crazy. Cambosa just robbed the dude. Yeah, he definitely did. I can't remember the dude. I can't remember the dude's name. He definitely robbed the shit out of dude, man. I remember that fight. Everybody was claiming that shit was a robbery. You know what I'm saying? He had just signed the top rank. And I believe the only reason why top rank is signed Cambosis is not because he's a good fighter. It's because he has Australia and he has fucking money. You know what I'm saying? He has the potential to bring fans to Australia to fill up an arena. And that's why I feel like they signed Cambosis. Because to be honest, man, it's not the biggest, wisest sign. Like as far as I'm taking my whole corporation, I'm just gonna implement that into yeah, this guy. Hell no. This guy is nothing but a workhorse for us. When we want to fight in Australia, this fucker's gonna fucking fight as the main event, and they're gonna fucking sell that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Because look, the first fight, I wouldn't have bought a fucking ticket for the first fight. You know what I'm saying? Because the first fight against Devin Haney, this asshole misses weight. This asshole of Cambosis misses weight, right? Dude misses weight. And, obviously they give him some time to recollect and then come back and then reweigh. But at the end of the day, dog, it's like you're at home. Why are you undisciplined like that? You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing that? You coming in over the weight limit. Obviously, it wasn't too much since they let him lose that little bit of weight. It was probably like 2 pounds or something over, or a pound and some change over, right? But it it's just it's sad, man. It's crazy. It's crazy as hell. Yeah, Devon Haney overnight. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people already know that. You know what I'm saying? Especially after the Lomachenko fight. He's nothing special. He's nothing special. And he gets frustrated as well. You know what I'm saying? He got frustrated against Lomachenko. Good live. I'm gonna see you later. Boy, be smooth like butter. Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you coming through, Papa Fresco. Appreciate you coming through, my brother. I'm about to get up out of here myself. It is late. It is 1 a.m. on Eastern Standard. I don't know what time it is, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Is Lomachenko's career soon to be over? Comment down below, man. Show your boy some love. And we out. Peace.